All right, continued our preparation for Buffalo. Went ahead and went up at Arrowhead today again, which I like more and more the more we do it. I just think it's, like I said, as long as our grounds crew allows us to continue to get away with it, I think it's good for our guys to get up there and just get more and more comfortable with where we're going to play. But I think we've had a good week. Have moved forward on a daily basis, making progress, and that continued today. And as I've said all week, we will need everybody doing it at the highest level they possibly can for us to be in a position to have a chance to win this game. Also would like to note that you've seen the change in my hat. I thought, Bob, you would have noticed that. Military Appreciation Day, Sunday. Which for all of the people, great people in this country and their families, honoring those that allow us to live the life we're able to live in this great country. So my hat, pardon the pun, goes off to all of those people and their families. So any questions?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's ranked number 2 in quarterback rating. Do you look at that rating as a way to gauge people, or do you think that it's kind of skewed?
It's one way. I think that it, fairly accurate assessment, a quick look assessment. But I really try to look at the tape, number one. That's what'll tell the tale. You'll know when somebody's playing at a high level when you watch the tape. And I've seen each and every game that he's been in. And you can tell that he is made improvement throughout his time as the starter this year. And I think right now he's playing at a very high level, and that's according to the tape. But I think that's the most accurate way to judge these quarterbacks is to watch it, see it, watch them in the. Otherwise, you don't know all the factors. And the thing that's evident about Ryan is that each situational area, whether it's red, third down, like I said the other day, some of these, they're in a multitude of personnel groupings and sets offensively. And as you look at the cut-ups of each and every one of those, you can tell he's pretty efficient in all areas, and that'll make for potential problems on Sunday.
They apparently are making in-season transition from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Is the league so multiple now that doesn't really force or cause a problem for you guys?
Well, I think it's a problem. Potential problem, because no different than like last week when you've got, a number of different quarterbacks that could play. I think it's a different level of issue for us as an offense because, you aren't for sure which you need to prepare for, whether you're preparing for an odd front or an even front. And that starts to affect your practice reps. You only have limited practice reps to work on it, and our players, and especially our front five plus the tight ends and backs need to have a great understanding of that, and you only do that through practice. So, it takes practice reps away from you one way or another. Again, if they do one thing and one thing only, then you essentially have used reps on something else that they're not doing. Now, if they do a little bit of both, then you've got a little practice at both, but you must be prepared for both. And the good thing for us is that we've seen some 3-4 teams and we've seen some even front teams up until this point. So that should help a little bit.
If you would happen to have, say, a rookie starting on your offensive line on Sunday, would that be a bigger problem for him?
I think that'd be pretty hypothetical, or speculative. I don't know. I think if you're referring to John, John's got a bunch of reps through through the preseason and then and even, regular season. He gets consistent reps along with other guys that aren't in there right now in a frontline role. Ryan O'Callahan and Rudy are all getting reps throughout practice, even regular first team frontline reps too. So, hopefully again that whoever's playing should be prepared. That's our job.
Todd, one of the players told me that Thomas Jones has the greatest locker room presence he's ever seen from a player. In order to have a championship caliber team, do you have to have a guy like that, or one or two, somebody who has that presence, who can command the respect and be a leader? Do you have to have a guy like that if you're going to be a champion?
Well, I think again, you're talking to somebody who was a quarter away from being in the championship, and then another time on a team that lost in the championship. But I think you probably need more than one. At least that's my opinion. Again, I think that I don't have the answer to that for sure, Doug, but at least the teams that I've been a part of that I thought were pretty good teams and had a chance to compete and play in big games or even the biggest game, you see multiple guys like that, and I think it's critical to have them across the team, offensively, defensively. I think that only helps in your cause, and Thomas is, I said that from day one, he's off the charts. He is as advertised, from the first day he walked in here, when he was on our list of potential guys, free agents, and he came and visited, and, we spent a bunch of time in my office, and, he spent time with everybody involved in the process, and each and every one of us, when you talked about it, when you started to go through the discussions, it was, wow, this guy's something. And he really is. He's a special character. I said, I don't like to talk about guys' private stuff, but this is just so, to me, it's such a clear picture of Thomas. After that Houston game, we're flying home, and like I said, that was you could tell that we were making progress as a team by how the plane. How the players were acting on the plane. You could see that it was a painful flight home, but, I made a couple passes back through there just to talk to all the guys like I usually do, and Thomas is watching the DVD. He's got a DVD with headphones on, and I just take a peek to see, what movie he's watching, and he's watching high school football. And I'm like, what are you watching, and I'm watching my brother. I'm like, brother, you just have Julius, right? And we had drafted Julius in Dallas, so I'm doing the math quickly of knowing that when Julius was a high school player, and I'm going, you're watching Julius? So he's got a bag full of DVDs of his brother playing high school football, and he said, this is what cheers me up. That's pretty unique, and it tells you so much about the guy, and on top of all the other things, he does a lot of work, with the mining and things like that. But here's a guy, of all the options to keep your mind active after a difficult loss, he said, this is what gets me in a good mood when I'm down. And it's his brother from the 90s playing high school football. And he's got DVD after DVD, and he's rewinding it, watching runs. Amazing.
You're watching his brother do well, I take it.
Just watching a game that happened years ago.
Can a guy like that communicate things to players, to teammates, that a coach just can't?
I think absolutely. I think the more, when you're operating efficiently as a team and you're a good team, the coaches are doing less and less and less. They really are. And, and I think that's how it happens. And, the coaches are still the coaches, but, you're just not having to do quite as much, hollering and pushing and prodding, and because, a lot of your veteran players or your leadership players are doing a lot of that for you.
When
did you like from Varian Tucker while he was on the practice squad that led to his promotion last week and then being active on game day?
Well, I think number one, as I've said, that game day 45 is very critical to us having any kind of chance to compete on a weekly basis. And we need to have the best possible mix combination, and a big factor in that is special teams. We need to win on special teams every week, in my opinion, to be in these games. So most of those decisions that you see are based, first and foremost on and through a lot of conversation through the week of Hoff, who now, I'll ask him with everybody in there, which guy, I make him make his list of 5 extras. I give him 5 extra every week. And I said, make your list and don't be having secret conversations with the coaches to see who they want at their positions. I want to know who the 5 are that help you. And we draw from the entire pool of players. And in Varan's case, he's working harder and harder each and every day and making progress each and every day. And it was clear you could see the progress, first on special teams and then also on offense. So, what I don't want to do is take somebody to the game that we're not going to use. So what I was happy about is that Varan got 20 snaps, I believe, is what he had in that game, offense and special teams. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to take guys that go to the game and sit. We need guys contributing, and he's doing it a little bit in both areas. But he's got some skill as a receiver now. I've been kind of quietly excited about him from, a week or so into camp, just seeing he's got some unique skills that are not coachable.
Are you starting to see the team, you talked about how there's less that a coach has to do as the players start to help each other out. Are you starting to see that more with your team?
Well, I'm definitely starting to see it more, and I've touched on this a little bit, last week I think it was, just seeing, but this I've been seeing, veteran guys helping, coaching, working with, teaching, trying to pass along information to guys, younger guys on the team that may even be guys that could replace them at some point. I talked about Mike Vrabel, hearing him coaching Tyson Jackson on some pass rushing. And again, and from the standpoint of, not doing it to be heard or be seen or for somebody to pat him on the back, I mean, truly in a secondary location or in a quiet manner, Mike, Chris Chambers working with some of these young receivers, our linemen, all our offensive linemen working with the young guys, and just seeing it across the board. So I've definitely seen more and more of it. But that being said, we're not there. We're not close to that other operation that I think you're referring to, of where it starts to really, you're operating at close to efficiency all the time, and with doing a lot less of the pushing and prodding. We're in the process. And we're still laying a foundation, but the positive is that, at least we're getting to see some reward on some of these Sundays, and clearly feel like we're making progress. So.
You said you feel like you make progress every day this week. When was the last time at the end of the day you felt like you had any progress?
I don't know. It's been a long time, Bob. It really has, because without, beating a dead horse, I've felt last year, like I said, one of the things I was really encouraged about heading into the off season, or when last year ended, and we were standing in Denver in the locker room, was that I could feel that we were making progress, and I could feel that for many weeks leading up to that game. It just, there wasn't a reward at the end of many of those, but when you feel some of the difficulties and tumultuous times that we had, early out of the gate last year, really from day one until we got to that second half of the season, then, then, you know, I felt like I started to feel us making consistent progress. So it's been a long time now. That's not to say we're perfect, you know, or these days when I talk about progress, it's not perfection. It's, you know, there are ups and downs today, each and every day, but, you know, as long as there's more ups than downs, then I know we're making progress. Good. Thank you.